also, listen.
It doesn't make sense to me that a middle-aged woman could be dumb.
When you're worried about losing your job and you're worried about podcasts taking over and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
What's happening, everybody? Well, we got a fun one today. Joy Behar of the worst show in the history of television, The View, recently attempted to insult Joe Rogan by suggesting that he believes in dragons. Joy Behar and all of the cretins at The View's larger insinuation was that anyone that listens to Joe Rogan's show, The Joe Rogan Experience, is stupid. With that, let's enjoy Joe Rogan, Shane Gillis, Mark Norman, and Ari Shaffir roast the living shit out of woke dumb Joy Behar. Let's go.
Rogan Experience.
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's
The
the
View?
only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
Joy Behar was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just heard about it.
I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like
you think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch.
people.
Wait,
It was from a wildlife biologist who came on my podcast. It was from Forrest Gallant. Gallant? How do I say his last name? Great guy. I love him.
Yeah.
He's awesome. But
Lock
he
in,
was
Jamie.
saying
Lock in.
there are there are
Fucking off.
J-Mo, let's do it.
Sorry.
Jamie, you haven't
see
called
if you can
anything
find
up.
Forrest's clip where he's explaining dragons.
Now that Jamie looks
memes.
like a Mexican, he's
This
lazy.
is where it came from.
They're
And
hardworking.
the View decided from this and from me talking about it with Adrian Appalucci the other day, explaining
Appalucci,
what
Dark
Forrest says and saying that I don't think that there was pterodactyls living with people. I said it. No. She said maybe they did live with this. I'm like, no. My position is it's probably crocodiles or some big Komodo dragon or some big lizard that did kill people.
Touched one.
And so people fought them with swords and shit, and they came back with a story, and then the artist drew it. And these
Yeah, if you
things.
saw one of those at night and you had a stick, yeah, it'd be like,
All
I found
throughout-
a pterodactyl.
all
I
throughout
found a
these
picture
same
of Joe Rogan and a unicorn.
all throughout these same time periods, there's been giant lizards. All throughout these same time periods, there have been Komodo dragons. There've been crocodiles. Been here for fucking 100 million years or whatever they've been for. Probably
money.
more. So the idea that people didn't encounter giant reptiles is stupid. And then there's the other thing is like people were really bad at describing things that they'd never seen before. So if you're a European traveler and you go to the Nile River and you see a fucking crocodile, like, what is that?
Take a guy.
Yeah, what is
And
that?
you go, what the fuck?
Or
What
a
is
baby
that?
in
What is
Florida.
that? So let's.
Can hold any weight? Like
No,
there's actually dragons?
I mean, we know there were large flying lizards during the times of dinosaurs.
So, just in case you didn't see it, for your reference, let's hear real quick what Joy Behar actually said on The View about Joe Rogan. Because we wouldn't want to take her words out of context. I mean, The View wouldn't do that to someone else, so we shouldn't do it to them. Roll it.
That's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
We're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal.
But we went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy, Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He
believes in dragons?
He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did.
I think that pretty much speaks for itself. So, let's see what else Joe and the gang have to say.
Dinosaurs, right? The only weight that it could possibly hold is that like a few of those somehow survived much later than we previously thought.
Jesus.
But do I think that there were dragons attacking human beings and civilizations? No, I don't.
J.D.
But it's still
Vance looks
interesting.
terrible.
It's so much cooler if there were. And like, the fact that we know that pterodactyls did exist, that's cool.
Right.
It would be way cooler as if they existed with people.
Right, 2,000 years ago.
Why is that? But why is that so much cooler to us?
I don't know.
It's like I mean, people would dedicate giant chunks of their life trying to find out if pterodactyls did coexist with human beings.
Oh, yeah.
No, I swear, I thought you had pterodactyls on your shirt there, and I was like, yeah, this is the most autistic
that'd be
thing I've
hilarious.
ever
That's
seen.
so- I think that's
It's
a
like,
rhino.
Why can't
That's a
pterodactyls be real?
Kafaru shirt.
The problem is you're taking Joey Behar, whatever her name is, as like a
This is
news source.
Did you have a stroke?
No. This is the most
I
important
watch The
part.
View. I don't know
Mitch
these people.
Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us. us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she
What?
by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest fucking statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't
the
believe
other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said
didn't
was
wait.
there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with giant reptiles. And then there's also, listen,
It doesn't make sense to me
There-
that a middle-aged woman could be dumb.
when you're worried about losing your job and
Yeah.
you're worried about podcasts taking over and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us and he won, and this is fucking great, and Joe Rogan believes in dragons. It's just frantic. It's foolish.
If you believe that Donald Trump is Hitler and everyone who supports him is a massive racist, and if you are in any ethnic or gay, you need to get the fuck out of this country. Because if you believe all that, it's bad.
I just want to comment on one thing that was said there by Ari Shafir. He said, sarcastically, might I add, it doesn't make sense to me that a middle-aged woman could be dumb. So now I want to talk to anyone who's watching this and might fall into that category and say, personally, I can't imagine how any of you could be dumb. I mean, maybe some, but anyway, obviously I'm joking around, but isn't Ari Shafir being a little generous calling Joy Behar middle-aged? I mean, good Lord. That was meant to be a joke, but that's probably the closest thing she's gotten to a compliment in years. Besides people that work for her. Gosh, I don't know why this whole section's focusing on Ari, but Ari did make a great point at the end there, though, didn't he? All of the sea monsters of The View are loaded. They have tons of money for God knows what reason. But, if you do in fact believe that when Donald Trump takes office, he is like Hitler, this will end up being a Nazi regime, an end to our government, you will live in an openly permitted country to be racist, homophobic, sexist, take your rights away at the drop of a hat. You all have the means to go anywhere in the world. So if this country is going to hell, there has to be better ones out there. So why wouldn't you leave? Because it's all a farce. We live in the greatest country on this side of heaven, as one of my favorites, Jesse Lee Peterson, would say. So they're full of it. They're pushing a narrative. They know it's not true. And now they're sitting around making excuses as to why they're wrong. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
Bad for you here.
But Sunny Hostin, she makes some good points.
Who's that?
She's the other one.
That's not going to clip well.
I'm just saying, like if they really believe this, what are you still doing here?
Jamie, there's a photo that I have on my Instagram.
You got to start
Go
drinking,
home.
Ari.
I'm drinking.
Jamie, there's a photo I have on my Instagram of a whale that's on a wall in an old Italian church.
Hand
It
me
was from like 2017 or 2018. I was in Ravello, and there's this church it's so old. The church is 1,000 years old, but it's built on top of another church, and they don't even know how old that church is. There's like a glass floor, and you look down, you can see the old church. They have no idea how old it is. But they had a painting of like the whale from the Bible. Who was it? Job? Who was it?
David
Jonah,
Lucas.
Jonah.
That's right, Jonah. So look at this photo. This is this ancient church, but there's a photo of a whale that's in. Is it in that?
Where's
It's
Ravello?
around the same time.
Italy,
I know
maybe?
I put the photo on Instagram.
Oh, Italy.
That's the church. But in that church, the whale doesn't look nothing like a whale. The whale looks like a monster.
Joe
It
Rogan
looks
believes in
some-
dragons.
So that's what
Here
it's
we
like.
go.
Here we
Their
go.
drawings was like they came back and described those fucking mercenaries couldn't draw.
They're
So the
bad
guys
artists.
that came back, the savages, the fucking animals that were
So a
hacking off
fucking
heads in the
whale.
Congo, they're not drawing.
I've been real
So they
busy
explain
pillaging.
it
I
to
can
an
work on my
artist,
art.
and
Yeah.
then the artist draws it, and they could probably barely remember because it's probably so traumatic.
Yeah,
a
drunk all the time.
16-foot crocodile comes launching out of the river and takes one of your boys and eats them in front of everybody. It's like, wah! That's it.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty
what they
good.
thought a whale looked like.
A whale.
Oh,
Yes.
that's a crocodile.
That's a
So,
train.
but look at it. That is the story from the
Dude, that's
Bible.
badass.
So they had never seen a whale before, so they drew this thing.
He's looking.
Dude, when Mark Norman said, well, Sonny Hostin makes some good points, and Shane goes, that's not going to clip well. That is funny on so many levels. One, it's just funny to say Sonny Hostin makes good points because if you watch this channel at all, you know I'm not her biggest fan. But the funniest part about it is that no one else knew who she was. They're like, who? And he's like, she's one of the other ones. Like, Mark made a good joke, but she's so irrelevant to them that the joke didn't land because they don't know who she is. That is Sunny Hostin's nightmare. Everyone not thinking she is an A+ #1 celebrity. By the way, on this channel, I know all too well about jokes not landing, because I'll say something like, those angels at The View are at it again, and I'll inevitably get some comment that's like, you think the women at The View are angels? Get the hell out of here. And I'm like, wait, that was a joke. What it makes me start to do subconsciously is go like, well, I better kind of like signal to the audience I'm being sarcastic. So unknowingly, I start being like, the supermodel-esque ladies at The View, or I don't know, just I find myself like trying to signal or not delivering the joke well because I'm worried about that one jackass who either watched 5 seconds of the video or has never experienced sarcasm in his life. Anyway, sorry for the tangent. Let's get back to the video.
Look how
out weed
bad they
smoke.
got the guy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
they
right.
knew what guys looked like, and they were struggling.
Yeah, they weren't good
It looks
artists.
like an alien monkey.
They're doing it in tile. In
He's
all
eating
defense,
ass.
it's a very difficult medium to work with.
What's that higher prime rate
What
thing?
is this? Oh, no.
Look at that guy.
Isn't that wild though?
He's
So
saying
that is
peace.
what.
Peace, I'm fucking out of here.
Been cool, bros.
So their version of things that we know that what looked like, we're all fucked up already.
Yeah.
So that's probably what dragons are. What dragons are probably giant crocodiles.
There you go.
And there's some people that went to the Congo in the 1800s that said they saw crocodiles bigger than their boats, 40-foot boats, and crocodiles were bigger than their boats. The
That's
thing
just
about
stupid.
crocodiles is they don't die.
Right.
They just stay alive until something kills them. So they keep growing. So if you got a crocodile, it could be 300, 400 years old, and that would be like a 60-foot crocodile. And that,
Really?
They might have seen those
They
back
get
then.
that old?
And that's
Oh,
when
yeah.
people had guns, right? So the people with the guns are probably killing all the ones that are really big.
You can see
So
them.
Yeah.
those ones that are really big, they've been eating other crocodiles. They've eaten everything,
Yeah.
cannibalize each other. They eat everything that moves. So to get to that point is so hard that when you whack those dudes, the ones that are left are like 30 years old, 50 years
Yeah.
old. Like you'll probably have smaller crocodiles. It kind of makes sense. That's
Yeah.
probably what
Yeah.
dragons were. Probably were a bunch of people that never experienced crocodiles before and just got fucked up by these 20-foot crocs. Ah!
Imagine seeing
Imagine-
that and not
Dude.
knowing what it is.
Yeah.
Dude.
What does Joy Behar say? Whatever.
Joey Behar.
when people tell like, hey, so that's not true.
I just want to say for the record, I have no hate for Joy Behar. If I saw her, I'd give her a hug. I don't care. I'd probably say the same thing about me if I was her. It's no big deal. I don't care. But it's a silly thing to say, and it undermines your own personal credibility.
Yeah.
If you say we're so good because we're supported by ABC News, and then you say Joe Rogan believes in dragons in the next sentence.
and no chance she comes back and goes, oh, guys, I was wrong.
No
Somebody told me the
chance.
wrong
If
shit.
it was a joke, that would be. I
That's
know
a
she
funny
wasn't
line.
joking, but it would be hilarious.
It would be
Joe Rogan, the
hilarious.
guy who fucking believes in dragons. fuck
I
that
wonder
guy.
if there
That'd be
were
hilarious.
some kind of flying lizards at one point in human history. You know, if,
Here we
if you
go.
go, well, this is what the Bigfoot myth is about.
You know why this is so great? Because these aren't just some dudes like me sitting here in front of a camera being like, doesn't The View suck? Which is like 80% of my show. This is the most viewed, listened to man in the world, maybe, am I right? And 3 comedians putting The View on complete blast. And the fact that after Joy Behar made that stupid comment, she was like, I checked it, shows everyone who didn't already know, I guess you've been in a coma, that you can't believe a word these buffoons say on this joke of a show. Case closed. No one ever has to wonder again. Or if they do, show them this clip. Anyway, I want to hear from you. Am I wrong? Is Joy Behar secretly a genius, and this is all a cover-up for Joe Rogan to not have to admit that he believes in dragons? All right, kind of a silly one today, but I liked it, so hope you did too. That's the end of this video. If you like watching videos of just complete idiots talking out of their ass, then click on one of the 2 videos that just popped up on your screen. Otherwise, as always, I really, really appreciate you being here. The end.